This documentary follows VentFX in their production of The Part Revisited. Throughout the production, the team faced numerous technical challenges to help create the desired CGI effects. This has been broken down into key effects which have been implemented. Both rotoscoping and masking have been used in numerous scenes, most noticeably here where the main character is running down the corridors. The flames needed to pass behind the character to create depth as suggested by Block in 2008. In addition, Lanier 2009 recommends using a combination of both masking and rotoscoping techniques. Creating masks and using the rotobrush tool allowed us to isolate objects of importance from the background in order to create the depth within the scene. This is complemented by a combination of layer types and blending modes. This offered a result we were extremely pleased with. However, Christiansen 2010 goes on to emphasize these blending modes are essential to help recreate real-world optics. In one of the explosion scenes we opted to use chroma key for a set extension. This was actually to the detriment of the scene as we were unable to illuminate the screen correctly, which caused difficulty when keying. In hindsight, rotoscoping would have been a much more efficient technique to use.
Using methods described by Gerhard and Harper 2010, selected elements of the 3D scenes were individually rendered as part of an RPF sequence. This permits the compositor to manipulate these rendered elements, such as lighting or specularity, independently of each other. Wright 2011. This process was used in the bullet scene and the laboratory to achieve a greater sense of realism by controlling these elements. Using multi-pass compositing, we altered the laboratory backplates to bring an overlit 3D scene under control. An industry example of this process is seen in Ratatouille as discussed by Prince in 2011, where multi-pass rendering was used to adjust the lighting of the food. Many scenes also required motion tracking, therefore a variety of methods were trialled, such as the Foundry's camera tracker. However, most useful proved to be Mocha, which provided far superior results. The most problematic scenes to track were the in-car pan and also the skin plugs. Brinkman 2008 indicates there may be a number of reasons that a computer may not be able to accurately track footage, such as motion blur or lighting variation. Our issues arose from a lack of available tracking locations and could have been overcome by adding tracking points to the skin so the computer can better understand which areas are moving.
Displacement mapping has been used in a variety of ways throughout our video production, in particular in this scene where the trail of the bullet has been created by duplicating it, blurring it, and stretching it to create a path that follows the bullet throughout the sequence. May 2007 suggests using this method within this scene to emphasise that the bullet is travelling in slow motion. A real-world example of how this is used within the industry is during the hit blocks where Still Wanted. To create the background plate of this scene, a number of still images were stitched together to recreate the real-world environment. We then recreated this within 3ds Max in order to animate the bullet correctly. RPF camera data was extracted from 3ds Max and imported to After Effects, where it was used to control the camera motion. This RPF data had to be used in order to achieve accurate orientation between the camera and the bullet within the After Effects team. This method for replicating the camera movement from 3ds Max to After Effects is recommended by May 2009 as being the most accurate and efficient way of creating a virtual environment. We were extremely pleased with the final result and agree that this method produced the best finish. When bringing the 3D bullet into the 2D world, it has to look as real as possible, and to achieve this it had to be lit using 3 different lights. This was necessary to keep it consistently lit throughout the 2D scene as suggested by Guy in 2010. The contrast between parts of the bullet that are lit and the parts that are in shadow define its 3D form.
Chroma key has been used throughout the video to help produce seamless integration between CGI and video elements. Chroma key was used most notably here, where we removed the background that was covered in the green sheet, as well as here, where the surroundings of the character were removed to enable us to place Joe in an artificially created lab. The main effects that were used were key light, colour range, and spill suppressor, and creating garbage maps using masks. Perkins 2009 suggests that there are many techniques to create a professional key, therefore we trialled a variety of methods with different software, such as using Avid's Spectromat on a scene-by-scene basis to produce our finest results. Improvements to our keying method would be the use of better quality screen and screen lighting, as well as contrasting tracking indicators. These are industry-used methods as shown by Industrial Light and Magic Showreel, where parts of the Iron Man films have been recorded in front of the green screen and tracked using tracking points. A key requirement for this task was to ensure the video was compelling. Perkins 2010 indicates that enhancing your video footage with colour correction can achieve this effect. Consequently, we balance the colour and contrast throughout each scene to create an overall more absorbing product, as well as making use of mood lighting to portray depth of emotion, as suggested by Block 2008. In conclusion, we have summarised a number of good features, as well as some which could be improved upon. The good features include high quality CGI integration, the large amounts of CGI in scenes and innovative camera angles. Areas for improvement include better integration of certain 3D elements, having better lit green screens for keying, and also recording audio using a dedicated microphone.